sucks. But while I'm thinking about stupid bracket placement, I wanted to just kind of mention like all these brackets on here. And this is going to probably be a hardtail, so this and this, that's kind of probably come off. But all these little brackets and bosses and holes and things, those are all good places to mount stuff. And this is a steering stop. You want to keep that on there. Otherwise, you're going to be twisting your forks up bad one of these days. But all these engine mounts, stuff like that, you want to keep that on a bike if you're building one until you know for sure that you want to take it off. And then like these hooks here, and there's one somewhere up here. Those sort of things for running wires and stuff, those are great to have. So if you build a bike, you know, leave those on until you know, hey, I don't need this, it's in the way. Then take them off. 'Cause you never know what might come in handy. Now, this skid plate was a bit of a worry for me because as you can see, there's a lot of dirt and oil buildup in here, and I'm not sure what these little chain links or wire, what that's for. I don't know if somebody did that at one point and tried to tighten this up against the engine or something or what, but the reason I was worried about that is because the frame rails were sitting in all that goo for who knows how many decades. And what happens a lot of the time with these old bikes is especially if they don't have wheels and they sit in the dirt, the bottom of this frame rail just rusts away to nothing. And a lot of the time it does anyway, even if they do have wheels, because that's where water runs off, that's where all the grime and crap off the engine runs off. If you're lucky, like I'm pretty sure that's just penetrating spray that I put on here. If you're lucky, oil leaked all over this and it's got a coat of oil on it, which will help protect the metal instead of rusting it out. But if you're unlucky, it's water, and then these frame rails here are complete junk. And a good way to test that is take a good solid wrench. I mean, this one is pretty solid. If you have any doubts, you can just tap on or take a screwdriver or, you know, the edge of this and just try and jab it in there. You know, if it's bad, it'll be obvious. Don't take a chance on a bad frame. This is pretty good. I was initially worried, but that's all pretty, you know, greasy, grimy gopher guts. So I'm guessing it was oil and chain lube and that sort of thing, and it actually helped keep it nice. So that frame rail's fine. So as far as I can tell, there's no actual frame damage. And just looking at the motor, the fact that none of the fins are broken off of the motor or the cylinder head, and the exhaust on this look great. You know, the only like actual damage to this entire bike that I could see was where this side cover here got welded back together, and I mean that could have been, you know, that could have been like a branch hit it, or, you know, a rock got thrown up and hit it. It's been known to happen. So that could have just been an impact from trail debris that did that. It's not necessarily a wipeout that did that. You know, the mounts for the blinkers and the fenders and everything and the foot pegs, all that look fine. So I'm thinking this frame's perfectly fine. So that is looking good. So I noticed something about this this rear swing arm here, specifically this. These are passenger foot pegs. I mean, they're missing the rubber that goes around them, but that's what they are. They're passenger foot pegs. Now, just imagine going, I mean, down the highway or a paved road, it wouldn't be so bad. But if your legs are on this and your butt's on the seat, your knees have to keep moving constantly to soak up the bumps because the suspension's working, this is on the road, you are a suspension component, basically. So, you know, I just can't imagine that it'd be pleasant in any way, shape, or form, especially if you're off-road or like going across a farmyard or something. You'd be bouncing up and down all the time, knees getting banged around. And then this doesn't have a chain guard. I assume they came with them, but then if your leg slips off of there or something and gets sucked into that, you're gonna have a bad day, man. Just something I noticed. It's, you know, legally you could take a passenger around if you had pegs, but safely and practically, not really.